So, today it appears we have people making more unfounded claims and more stupid rhetoric about Gamergate. I stumbled upon this while surfing the Twitters, because that's what I do, is surf random stuff at random times. And came upon this thread. Starting, hashtag Gamergate is a hate mob, and the world knows it. I used to hesitate on calling them this, but fuck it, they've earned it. And people ask them how, they say things, the normal shit, harassment, bullying, unpoliced misogyny, blah, 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 blah. Say that none of us stop it when we clearly have the Gamergate harassment patrol that goes around mass reporting harassing tweets from both sides of the argument, both anti-Gamergate and Gamergate. Although I do like this statement here. It's absurd to expect people on the internet to conjure up some sort of vigilante police department. Great statement. And then when people make the claims of, I follow a lot of other people in hashtag Gamergate, and I never see any of this stuff, they're automatically called a liar, which shows their bias. And then somebody else comes in and asks, how can women be misogynistic? And all they say is quite easily, and they never get to the point. And generally, this entire thread is some dogpiling from people who obviously are super biased against hashtag Gamergate. And all these people are making claims that, hashtag Gamergate is misogynist, hashtag Gamergate is racist, sexist, because apparently disagreeing with them equals hatred, because they're retarded. And I don't use that lightly. Well, no, I do use that lightly. Fuck it. I mean, it's not any secret that I'm part of the internet culture. So saying things are retarded and calling people faggots are part of what happens on the internet. It's part of how this goes. So if you have offense with my language, First Amendment. I can say literally anything I want so long as I am not threatening anybody. And you can't do anything about it. But, I doubt anybody watching these videos is overly sensitive and thinks that the word retard is somehow taboo. Okay, so they say our actions show that we're hateful people, and we're not. And this goes on, and then we come to this person. I was a teenage pen. And I'll get to them specifically. Like, here, somebody who's obviously pro-Gamergate says, or you said something stupid, we're told it was stupid, and cried harassment, when Teenage Pen said that they had been part of a harassment op. And then somebody else says, yes, this sounds more like the GG condemnation of harassment we all know. Yeah, and of course, all the dogpiling. But calling somebody out on their stupidity, saying, dude, what you just fucking said, that was fucking stupid, shut the hell up, is not the same as going, you know the fuck what? I'm gonna fucking come over there and punch you in the fucking mouth if you don't shut the fuck up. One is harassment because you made a threat against their person. In fact, it can even be seen as a threat of assault. The other is telling somebody that their opinion or statement was fucking stupid. There's a big difference there, legally and even, just by normal word definitions. And hell, I mean, harassment, if you go by normal word definitions and legal definitions, has to be consistently occurring, which means it can't just be one instance and then done. It has to be unwanted. So some of these people revel in this attention. And it has to be usually used as a if you go with the legal definition, as a tool of coercion or intimidation. And then apparently we support trans hate and rape encouragement. Whereas I know for a fact, and a lot of other people know, the Gamergate Harassment Patrol, yet again, people like myself randomly, surfing, if we see it, we respond. We go, yo, that isn't fucking cool. Stop doing this shit. You know. And then they bring up that there are people associated with the Gamergate hashtag who have very controversial opinions about women and trans people, things that you wouldn't support. And I love this response here by Rexia. Those two both get told to fuck off, and rightly so. They're actual misogynists. Now, the biggest thing that these people don't seem to realize is that just because these people use the hashtag does not mean we condone their attitudes, opinions, or statements. Hashtag Gamergate is a collection of individuals. We make choices for ourselves and other like-minded people who have similar choices, or even if they don't have similar choices, have goals that coincide with ours, such as journalism ethics and the fight against cultural Marxism and social justice, are confusing the fact that everybody has their own opinions in this. We're all entitled to it, and we don't necessarily like everybody else's opinions. Like this statement here, goals or not, Milo, Cernovich, Sargon, and Summers have built huge fan bases from Gamergate's core. Intention doesn't mean shit when noted bigots and anti-feminists are making profits from what you've done. Now, again, back to the point about individual opinion, etc., etc. Some of Milo's articles are fantastic. Some of Milo's articles are awesome. Cernovich does a great job trying to stop bullying. Sargon does what I'm doing right now and does it better, a lot better. In pointing out people's stupidity, he does it through reason and evidence. So just because he's built a fan base off of this does not mean that he's doing so simply for money. He's always been like this. I remember Sargon's channel prior to Gamergate. And Christine Summers, well, when they start attacking, feminists of the second wave, because feminists of the second wave think that, current social justice policies, and feminists of the third wave are not towing to their line, then, well, you know that they're cannibalizing their own. And anti-feminism does not mean that they're bad people. I'm anti-feminist. I'm pro-egalitarian. I personally think that the words feminism and men's rights activism put people in a false dichotomy. It puts people subconsciously, the general audience, not the people in the know, but just people casually looking in the mindset of us versus them. And that's bad. Egalitarianism is a neutral label, and it doesn't just stand for gender equality. It's equality of everybody, regardless of gender, race, creed, etc. They've accused Milo of being a Nazi fetishist. I don't bother going into this because it's irrelevant to what he says concerning Gamergate. It's irrelevant to his actions concerning Gamergate. But these people point out that they should stop defending Milo or Cernovich or Roguestar or Press Fart to Continue or Camera Lady because of certain opinions these people may have reflect on them as people as a whole, which is incorrect. Opinions I have that are probably extremely controversial do not reflect on my conduct as a whole. And I'm not going to get into that right now. And then we have another Gamergator finally popping in. Says, you folks accuse Gamergate of piling on. And, I was a teenage pen pops up again saying that GG sends threats to women, trans people, and charities. None of us have sent threats, at least none that could be definitively proven to be attached to Gamergate. So there is that. But we're looking here now that trying to get sources from these people is impossible. They make claims without evidence. And then Cyber STX here, pretty cool guy so far, comes in and says that Devi whatever, if they remember correctly, said that Teenage Pen was former Gamergate, but he never supported Gamergate. And we get pictures like this. First, there's this picture of... Oh, damn it. Come on. Open the picture. Vicious Pen. Another former... Vicious Pen responds to Grace Lynn, Pixel Goth. Another former Gamergate supporter now fighting against Gamergate. Keep kicking ass, Vicious Pen. I'm there with you. So this person says that they're former Gamergate. But if you look at this, the only hashtag Gamergate they had used prior to that was clearly a statement disdaining Gamergate. So there's some evidence right there. Okay. Now, people are starting to come and going like, why do people always lie about this stuff? And, making clearly pointed, sarcastic remarks. And then Teenage Pen pops up and says, so I'll be waiting for you when you come back with the actual proof that I was lying. And he goes, I'll wreck you again with facts then. Your own words. Enjoy. Opening up this picture. I was a Teenage Pen, November 16th. So much, much, much more prior to the one hashtag we could find. Apparently talking with someone named Wise Grey Owl 99 because the Man in Black is a notorious anti-Gamergator. As is SRH Butts, and there's a lot of them here. Starts here. What the hell is SJW, Social Justice Warrior? I'm not hip to all the Gamergate details. There's so much Gamergate shit going around, it's hard to know if some fresh hell popped up or not. I think it's ironic and poetic that it's gamergate.me, which is one of the many sites that is used as a sort of a repository for things having to do with Gamergate. They aren't actually a face of Gamergate. They just use the name as an identifier, so it's easy to find, basically. Okay, so they rallied behind him by sending him death threats. Get your shit together, Gamergate. Hey, look, also apparently Gamergate is just about me. Not sure why, but apparently I was the goal all along. Spiffy. And then, you just demonstrated why I would never be for Gamergate, because equality is not about a schoolyard attitude. So, more proof. So, two pieces of evidence at this point. And more responses. I'm sorry, kid, but some of us pulled our heads out of our asses and woke up. Whine and butthurt all you want over it. Cyber responds, you're the only one whining here. Same about lying. Reality showed you were not a former Gamergate supporter. And, it's this back and forth banter with Penn consistently saying or trying to get Cyber to admit that your only evidence is on Twitter. Well, when the only presence of a person we know of is on their Twitter, the evidence on Twitter is empirical. I mean, if Teenage Pen here, I was a Teenage Pen, at Vicious Pen, has evidence that they used to support Gamergate in some other media fashion, some other piece of evidence, they are not providing it. And they still have yet to provide it by this point in the conversation. People, this person keeps saying, tell me stuff, tell me all the stuff. Show me that all you have is Twitter, and then I can laugh at you and laugh away your claims. And this is where I jump in. What is being said is that you have provided no evidence to the contrary. So, I come in with a reasonable, logical statement. This person has come in and said that their former Gamergate turned anti, but there's no evidence to support that fact. In fact, all evidence points to the contrary. And they haven't provided any counter evidence. And I continue, Hitchens popularized it best. What can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. The reason I say popularized is because it's actually a really old Greek proverb. Hitchens just made it really popular recently, just before he died. I miss that man. And then I state, finally, and Cyber has gone one better and provided evidence, so your claims are utterly dismissed. And now they start arguing with me. Okay, when did this Gamergate business start? And then go look at when my Twitter profile was created, LOL. My statement, it's not on us to provide for your stance. Provide the evidence yourself. Then they ask when the conspiracy started. More to the point, it isn't on me at all. This is you people's concern, not mine. To be frank, I'm never going to care. If you or every other Gamergator doesn't believe it, so me convincing you, dude, I wouldn't care if you did believe me. Also, it was Gators that started this whole idiotic thing, so you wanted the fight. I suggest you get to proving it. And another part of Hitchen's razor, and I'll bring that up. Hitchen's razor. There's a second part to Hitchen's razor. Oh, not Greek proverb, Latin proverb. My bad. Sorry, guys and gals. Where's the other one? Here it is. Dawkins formulated a different version of the law. It's in the Hitchen's razor article. It says, the onus is on you to say why, not on the rest of us to say why not. And that's what I say here. They're making the contentious claims. Onus of proof falls on them. And then they say, I don't care if you believe or not. I don't care if all Gamergate doesn't believe it. That's not going to change no matter what. Stuff you spew at me. So maybe you should just leave this as goodbye waves. And I post, and good riddance to bad rubbish. Making unfounded claims is disingenuous and bad science. Something I'm very, 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 very rigid about is the scientific method. You observe things, make a hypothesis, test your hypothesis, come to a conclusion based on the data, which is not how the cultural Marxists and the SJWs and the third wave radical feminists perform. They have a conclusion, they twist the data to suit it, which is disingenuous bad science. It doesn't work. The observation of fact falls apart. And then they post, bad science. Wow, okay, well, again, it's not for you. I'm never going to care, so don't lamely try to hassle me with it again. Now, earlier in this video, I'm sure you heard my phone going off with a notification, and you saw the notification bubble pop up. It's this notification here. Yeah, it's an easy one, man. Look at his first message about Gamergate. Ha ha ha. Another picture. What the hell is SJW? I'm not hip to all the Gamergate details. They didn't even know what the hell we were fighting for. Or against. But yeah, this is just one piece of evidence that anti-Gamergate doesn't really fight with logic, though we've known that for a while. This is just another piece of evidence on the mounting pile. And ultimately, they make these broad generalizations about how, oh, if a person is transphobic or whatever, and To be honest, Milo does not like, you know, trans people, and I have my own opinion on that. That's probably just as contentious. Uh, but just because I don't like one of his opinions doesn't mean he's not a decent person overall. And it also doesn't mean that his statements about what's happening in Gamergate are automatically falsified by that. It's the same for anybody else. Something that they don't, well, something that most rational people realize is you can have friends who have opinions you don't like. I mean, I have friends whose opinions I don't like, and I'm sure they don't like some of mine. But we still get along, we're still friends, because we understand that there are just opinions and things we view differently, and that's part of what makes people, interesting and good. If everybody liked the same things, this world would be fucking stupid. But no, they feel that there's a need for an echo chamber. Everybody has to agree on everything. And if you don't, you are automatically ostracized, automatically harassed, automatically accused of all the worst things that they can come up with. And essentially, you become a pariah. And you know what? In a society of people like that, I'd rather be a pariah. I'd rather be outcast. I'd rather not be noticed by them. They would unconsciously avoid me wherever they go, and that would just make it easier to bring them down. This is only one video today. I think I have a few more in me, maybe 2 or 3. I don't know. We'll see if I can find other things to talk about. I do want to talk about Milo's Sexodus articles. So far, part 1 and 2 are out. I haven't checked if part 3 is up yet. But I personally believe that as one of those men who has checked out on society for the most part, I have a unique perspective on the issue. I also have a video of Sargons I want to address, mainly because it's a statement of intent and a statement of transparency, and I don't believe my introduction to the channel was a really good statement of intent and transparency because it was 5 a.m. and I was dead tired. So yeah, I'm Xanatrixidare, and remember, you don't just seek the truth seeks you.